Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's the Distinguished Professor.
The real patriot. He is my friend and he is my great mentor.
It's good looking, Professor.
Hey, again, we are back. I'm doing a reaction video to a TikTok content creator who's speaking in regards to Donald Trump and black people. I guess you're not black if you're voting for Donald Trump, black men for Donald Trump. So this is what I'm going to be reacting to. I'm actually going to let this one play out. I'm going to let him cook for the 5 minutes he's on there. And I'm going to try my best. You know how hard it is. I'm going to try my best not to respond or interject in between what I will respond after. But before we get started, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you tap that notification bell so you're not tardy to any one of my new classes. So without further ado, let's get started. Classes in session.
For all of the black men that support Donald, you are pretty embarrassing, and not directly to me, but in a general sense, you are embarrassing to our demographic, right? And I'm not just talking about, your conservative or Republican black men who are kind of surrounded by Republican white folks and all of that who grew up in that world and all of that. I'm talking about black men like me, black men around the hood, from the hood, hood adjacent, or what some may say your average or quote unquote normal black man, right? Donald does not care about you. You are not standing out from the crowd by supporting him. You're like, this is not the way to go against the grain. At the end of the day, truly, as an individual, I don't care what you do, but I want y'all to understand it's not what y'all think it is. It's not the flex that y'all think it is, right? You brag about him or you side with him like, oh, he funny. Oh, this dude is hilarious. Oh, he's rich. He says whatever he wants to. He's outlandish. He don't give a damn. All of those things may be true, but I think you're failing to realize this isn't some anime character. This isn't some Love and Hip Hop character. This isn't some reality star. He was previously a reality star, but he is a political candidate now for presidency. This is not so. And when you go to them polls and you decide to vote him in, really think about the fact that he does not care about you as a black man.
Okay, I can't. I can't stop. I don't think any non-black person cares about black people for the most part. I mean, it's a lot of times is their people first. So if you've had 46 out of potentially 47 presidents that are non-black, whose agenda are they going to have at heart? Who are they going to stand for? So of course, I don't think he's going to, uh, you know, care about us like that. I mean, that's not what he's there for. He's there to impact the country. So that what he's saying that makes no sense. I'm trying to let him cook. I'm gonna try.
If he seen you on the street, he would walk right past you. He's not going to look at you and be like, oh, I need to help solve the issues that face you in this country. He don't care. So stop sucking. I can't believe I'm saying this, but for those of you that are supporting him because of a potential stimulus package,
Yeah, this I have no idea what he's talking about. A stimulus package. I'm not sure if Donald has talked about a stimulus package. I know we had stimmies in the past, and a lot of people mismanaged those things. They went on trips instead of using it to invest in something else or invest that money to make more money. But yeah, I don't know where this whole stimulus piece is coming from. This is not something I've heard from Trump's camp.
my brother, the pandemic is over with. Are you dumb? Like, what are we doing here? And even if it wasn't over with, you're supporting somebody like this who has proven to be various things that are not pleasant. You're supporting them over a potential $1,000 to $2,000.
No, I'm supporting him because of the things he did while he was in office for 4 years. That's why I'm supporting him. Um, you, the other side did a lot of things that did not benefit black folk. Actually, harmed the black community in a state like California. So yeah, y'all can call him racist if you want to. That's crazy because Not only was he in rap songs, he was on. He was, you know, Omarosa, I think, won the first season. Kwame almost won the second season, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. In addition, that was he not on the Fresh Prince, where everyone loved him? Was he not hanging out with the likes of Don King, things of that sort? He's a mighty racist to hang out with a lot of black folk. Don't get it.
Bro, get your money up. If you're going to vote somebody into office for that reason, who clearly would not like you or does not like you, you a sucker. You a sucker. You're a sucker. And these same men tend to be men that think that if we are to reach equity and equality, that you would be in the same category or have the same power as a white man, and you never will.
That's the issue that got us in trouble. That got us where we are now. We wanted to be equal. We wanted to be separate but equal. That's why we're in the situation we're in now, because we wanted to be separate but equal. We wanted to be like the white folks. That's a black person thing. That has nothing to do with what about Donald Trump. This was going on years ago in the '60s. It was going on. Malcolm X was against this. Was against being the separate but equal. Martin Luther King was more towards it, towards him before he passed. He was starting to go more on the side where Malcolm was, of not being and not that whole separate but equal thing. So yeah, that's been a thing for quite some time. That has gotten us in trouble because we did a lot better when from people I've spoken to, older people that went through this, that segregation and they were learning was actually better for them because they're actually learning from black people. HBCUs came about because of segregation. So at the end of the day, that helped a lot of people. A lot of people, because our money stayed in our community. We knew where we couldn't go, and our money stayed in our community. Therefore, we uplifted our own people. So equality may not have been the best thing for us because we were actually doing fairly well when it came to our economy and keeping money in the black community as opposed to what it is now. We spent $2 trillion a year, and how much of that has been spent in the black community? But let's continue.
Stop trying to be white men. Me, black men like me, we don't want to be white men. We don't want to replace white men or be at the level that white men are in the sense of controlling or being at the top of the totem pole. I want everybody to be equal. I'm not trying to replace the person in power to be the new person in power. Let's be very clear, because I know how y'all like to argue and play semantics. When I say power, I mean it in a negative connotation, like dictatorship vibes, right? Not like power to change in a positive way, not like power to do great things, not like power to uplift this country, but power to demean people, stand over people, oppress people, suppress people, right? Discriminate, systemic racism, that type of power. That's the disconnect between some of us. Some of us black men, some of us black people, we want equality and equity for the good of the people, for the good of us, for the good of everybody else, just to treat people how they should be treated. And then there's a group who want equality and power to just do exactly what the white man is doing. A bigoted, racist, white supremacist white men. In my experience, I've run into a lot of black men who, for some reason, think that they're more intelligent or smarter or making a better decision by supporting people like Donald or things of that nature. And they say the rest of us are sheep in some way, shape, or form. Like, oh, you're letting the Democrats confuse you or take over your mind or whatever. When I don't need, that's not even the case. I don't like all of that stuff is a facade and a bunch of BS to me at the end of the day. I know everybody's lying, right? In some way, shape, or form. But brother, I'm telling you, that's not like, you're not doing what you think you're doing. You're not more intelligent or smarter for doing this. If everybody else is being confused and baited, so are you. You're just not taking the same route or having the exact same reaction. You're an American person, a part of the system, just like everybody else, and you don't seem to be using your brain. You, as a black man, cannot approach this system, cannot approach politics, cannot approach a presidential election as if you are a white man. These things that y'all spew when it comes to Donald or anything of that nature, they don't apply to you. They don't apply to you. You will not benefit in the same ways. You are a black man. At the end of the day, you can go to a Donald rally, scream at the top of your lungs in support. You could meet him personally and let him know you support him. You are still a black man, and you are not included in the benefits and the perks of supporting a Donald or something like that. You get what I'm saying? I need y'all to understand that. I need y'all to really get that through y'all skulls. Y'all will forever be black people. They will forever be white supremacists unless they decide to change, which is very unlikely. Get that through your skull. Y'all think that supporting these bigots and white supremacists is going to change something? Y'all have to remember, segregation didn't end because white people had to change of heart. Jim Crow didn't end because white people had to change of heart. This stuff didn't end and change because white people had to change of heart. They needed to do it to benefit them at the time, right? Consider that when you go and you support and you scream at the top of your lungs, it's ignorant shit. Okay?
And this is my response to that. And before I give you my full response,
Mr. Madison, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
that's how that's how I feel about it. In regards to what this man said, he said that nothing that he does affects us. Okay, well, we can always break that down, right? We can always go through that piece by piece. But how did the First Step Act not help black people? Because it actually affected 91% of people. Because what it did was it shortened the sentences of non-violent criminals, and 91% of those criminals were black. That affected the black community immensely, because fathers got to come home. So that impacted our community. Agree. Let's also talk about inflation. Inflation under Donald Trump was at 1.9%. This is by Investopedia, as well as PolitiFact. 1.9% was what inflation was under Trump, as opposed to Biden. Biden's inflation is averaging around 5.7%. How does inflation impact black people? So he goes on. How does it affect? Let's talk about opportunity zones. Let's talk. What did those do? When Trump introduced those opportunity zones, it aimed to spur investment in economically distressed communities, such as black communities. And as a matter of fact, it was actually a game changer for a lot of black communities. It was opportunity zones. So how did that not impact black people? Under Trump, and let's go back real quick. Because under Obama, I know when he got it, black unemployment was, I think, around 17.4%. Or maybe 15. I get those numbers skewed from time to time. Let's say 15%. Let's be conservative. Black unemployment was at 15%. He brought it down to 7.5%. Under Trump brought it to around 5.4% by August of 2019. Black unemployment was at 5.4%. How does that impact black people? How does that impact the black community? Record low unemployment, opportunity zones that create opportunities for people in low income areas. I know a couple people who are in real estate who bought distressed shopping centers, turned them around, and now there's a Chase Bank and a TD Bank in the two shopping centers they bought. They bought them across the street from each other in an opportunity zone. There's a coffee shop owned by a black woman. I forgot what else is there, but those are all black businesses in a black community in a shopping center that's owned by a black man. And you have two national banks in the two shopping centers he owns. Opportunity zones, that's under Trump. The First Step Act, again, it reduced the sentences for non-violent offenses and provided opportunities for early release. We know what Kamala did in California, because at the time they were reducing sentences to 50%, and Kamala made sure that those people served a lot longer so that she can get that free labor. Over 1,900 people that was impacted. Those are families that are impacted. Whether they should or should not be in jail, that's neither here nor there. because we do know 3 people potentially were innocent, and she tried to do what she could to suppress evidence to prevent them from getting a new trial. I spoke about this before. One trial, she said the dude appealed too late. The other trial, he didn't go through the right channels to appeal first, because he got to the 9th Circuit before he went to the lower court, and that dude still sitting in jail. So we know she did that. We know she wanted to throw single parents in jail for their kids not going to school or being truant from school. While they're trying to work and put food on the table, they can't control whether their kids in school or not, right? But you want to put those kids in jail. We know that's what you did. But Donald Trump, under the First Step Act, made sure that people came home from nonviolent offenses and had reduced sentences. Let's talk about the HBCU funding. 14% he raised the funding HBCUs who were going broke during his term. We're going broke. Yes, Obama started some of the funding. That funding was going away, and Trump made sure that funding stayed for HBCUs. So explain to me, how does he not impact Black people? What policies did Obama pass? What policies did Joe Biden pass that impacted Black people directly? Kamala said she can't do anything for Black people directly, but Joe Biden made sure they signed the Asian American Pacific Islander Act as an executive order within the first 90 days. So again, what are we talking about here? Why are Black men for Trump? Because Black men financially did well, and when you're financially doing well and you have a job, you can now take care of your family, and you want to be a family. And what are we trying to get back to? Building Black families. Because why? We are not together. We lead in out of wedlock pregnancies. We lead in deletions of babies since Roe v. Wade. So with all that being said, why are you pushing against? Why are men like this pushing against Black families? I don't think any president that has ever been a president has our best interests at heart. But when they do pass legislation that impacts us greatly in a positive way, I'm for it, no matter what the outcome is. LBJ did not want to sign the Civil Rights Act. He was forced to do so. And that act was led by Republicans. We forget about that. LBJ did not want us to have the Civil Rights Act. And if you do your research and you take LBJ and you take Abraham Lincoln out of the equation, Donald Trump in the 4 years did more for Black people than almost every president not named Obama and not named Franklin D. Roosevelt. Obama had 8 years and really didn't impact us that much, but he had 8 years. FDR had 12. Donald Trump's number 3 out of 46 out of 44 presidents. He's number 3. Out of 44 other presidents, Donald Trump's number 3. And he did that in 4 years, not 12 or 8. So whatever these people out here talking, whatever they're spewing, it's crazy. Now, you can say what you want about Kamala Harris. We don't know what her policies are. We do know she's all about deletions of babies. Her running mate in his state of Minnesota, where he was governor, he allowed late-term deletions of children. Again, we lead that. 19 to be conservative, 23 to be is what people are reporting. 23 million. I talked about it last night. Gun violence since 1970, there's been approximately 793 deletions of Black people due to gun violence. While there's been 19 to 23 million deletions of Black people in the womb. She leads this. So how does this impact Black America? How does it help Black America? It doesn't. But you know what? At least Donald Trump tried. Even the little crumbs and morsels you think he may have given us, at least he tried. At least he tried. That's more than I can say for Bill Clinton. That's more than I can say, although they say he's number 1, more than I can say for Obama, because he did more for the alphabet community than did Black people. So this is ridiculous. Do your research. Again, I'm all about facts over feelings. And men like this, who are in their feelings, who want to talk about personal things about this man are speaking out of their feelings. Look at the facts, my brother. Look at the facts. I'm going to end this video here because I can go on a rant about this whole Kamala Harris, Donald Trump thing. But I'm going to end it here. And I thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, share, tap the notification bell. But class dismissed.